Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of Rep TV, the video cast for the Repman blog. I'm your co-host Paul Marchand and joined always by Repman Steve Cody. Over here to my left, to my far right is Joe Checkler. Joe is one of our media content strategists here at Peppercomm, formerly from the Wall Street Journal. And sitting right next to me is Edgar Nunez, and Edgar's a special guest today because we're going to talk about something that everybody loves to talk about, which is the weather. We're actually going to reference why it seems that meteorologists tend to have not so much of a track record of success in predicting what the weather is going to be like. And so Edgar is actually a meteorologist by trade. He was formerly a producer for New York One's Weather on the Ones, and he produced graphics and would write scripts for New York One. And I know he's an avid weather blogger and tutor for earth science tutor in his spare time. So thanks for joining us, Edgar. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
So we're going to kick it off by watching a video, and our audience is going to see the same video. This is a segment from Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel, basically going nuts over thunder snow. So we wanted to show it and then get your reaction, Edgar. So let's take a look.
Oh yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo! Woo! We got it! Oh! Again! Again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby! Yes! Again! That's a three! You gotta be kidding me! Have really picked up and through here. And there's another one! That's number... You gotta be kidding me! Oh, I can hear thunder, so we had another one. So we actually had five strikes, five thunder. I mean, this is just a total change. Literally within an hour. Was that another one? Was that... Oh my good... Dude, that's number 6! You gotta be kidding me! Dude, I'm telling you, this is Chicago. Postel, this is Chicago all over again. We're just sitting in the middle of it.
So what do you think, Edgar? Why all the hype? I mean, it seems like he was more excited about that than if his team won the Super Bowl.
Listen, thunder snow does not happen all the time.
Okay.
When it does, it's incredible because due to the snow and when the thunder hits, it bounces off the particles of snow, so it amplifies the sound even more. So you guys have heard thunder in regular thunderstorms, but when you see thunder snow in snowstorms, you can hear it a little bit more.
So you guys think it's a big deal in your profession?
It's big.
Okay.
It's
All right.
big.
Just in case you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses.
Nobody was wondering.
I think there's way too much Hollywood in what should be fair, balanced, and objective reporting of the weather. So my question to you is, aren't we seeing more and more meteorologists and storm tracker reporters trying to make themselves the news and hyping? And I realize that's a special event, but
definitely special.
you'll see reporters standing in 2 inches of snow with winds of 10 miles an hour, and they're acting like they're Navy SEALs or Green Berets. So I'm curious on and I think it's getting worse and worse in terms of the hyperbole. I'm just curious on your take.
I think it's a combination of trying to attract ratings because they're always in competition. We're talking about the big name networks. When it comes to big networks like ABC News, NBC News, CBS News. They want to attract as much viewers as they can. So for that 1-2 seconds, you will see some hype.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with it because it makes the jobs of any regular meteorologist who are trying to do the fair and balanced reporting, as you say, it makes the job a little bit harder because not everybody puts all the meteorologists on that same pedestal. So if something goes wrong, or if the forecast does not go exactly as planned, then everybody's on top of everybody.
Yeah, well, speaking of making the jobs harder, another aspect is, there's the overhyping, right?
Yeah, there's overhyping.
But there's also the fact that many weather reports, many predictions are often wrong. And so we can harken back to about a year ago. There was this proposed predicted blizzard in 2015. Mayor de Blasio shut down New York City, and then we didn't get any accumulation, right? And so it seems like most of the time meteorologists are wrong in their predictions. Do you think that that's accurate?
And if I could just add,
go ahead.
the business implications in terms of business executives who had to go to meetings and didn't, business just came to a standstill. I'm guessing it cost America, billions of dollars in lost revenue. because of incorrect weather forecasting?
Not my local bar. My local bar made money when people just decided they weren't going to go anywhere and just went there.
There are some
To
benefits.
wait out the 4-inch snowstorm.
Now, I'll tell you, last year that snowstorm was incredible. One, because the gradient of whoever got 30 inches to whoever got 5 inches was within a span of like maybe 25 miles. So we're talking Nassau County as little as maybe 10, 15 miles away from the city, they got about 20 inches of snow. You know, so it's a razor's thin edge sometimes when you get with these storms. You know, so with last year, the National Weather Service, which is what the city usually goes by, National Weather Service, the day before the storm, predicted 24 to 36 inches for the city. So the mayor's going off by that information. You know, you get that kind of information, I would shut down the city too. You know, because you don't know what's gonna happen. Now, I remember last year I was doing the forecast and New York 1. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if we're gonna get, you know, it's kind of hard. How are we gonna get 20 inches? And you know, the event was starting, and I'm like, how are we gonna get 20 inches in 10 hours?
So why is it so hard to get that accuracy then?
Because the problem is so many different factors come into play when it comes to the storm. You have to have the right wind speed. You have to have the storm has to go on the right speed. It has to blow up at the right location. This storm did not blow up at the right location. The factors did not come together where they expected us to have 24, 36 inches of snow. It came together for Suffolk County, Nassau County, and we're talking only maybe 15, 20 miles away from the city. The city itself, you know, some places did get up to 1 foot of snow. I'm talking about parts of the Bronx, Queens, you know, so the forecast was not totally wrong. Maybe we didn't get as much snow as predicted, but you know, the forecast was not totally, we kept on saying, I remember saying that New York 1 and a couple of other news outlets were saying, look, any shift in storm track is going to have profound consequences on, you know, on what we actually get. So that's what we try. I know you see my blog post, and I always try to do this at New York 1. We always try to say the possibility, what may happen if it goes this way, what may happen if it goes that way.
Possible outcomes.
Outcomes, different outcomes. So the public is not expecting one thing and getting another. Because, go ahead.
How come when I'm watching sometimes before there's a big storm, the meteorologist seems to be getting a little smirk on their face, like knowing that disaster is coming? I know that they probably don't want it to happen, but it's often like you can tell that this is what they love, and they're like, this could be really dangerous, and they kind of have this little smirk coming out of their face. Is that something that they have to be coached to don't be so happy that a disaster is about to hit?
Now, one thing, we're all human. You know, I know in terms of what you guys do here, if you guys get a great client, you guys are going to be like, oh, wow, we got this great client. For us in weather, huge storm, yes, it's excitement.
That's like landing a huge client.
Nervousness,
You guys,
Our Super Bowl, when we get these types of storms, Sandy was huge. You know, I mean, excitement level, off the charts. You know, when it comes to tracking these storms. But we also in the back of our mind, like you said,
there's people washing off on shore, there's boats, there's houses going away.
You know, but that's usually while the event's happening, it's excitement. We also, like you said, you also have to like have an even keel too, because know that there is a disaster going on.
One of the things that bothers me, it just happened this, whatever it was, 10 days ago when we had the 26 inches, was maybe early Saturday morning there were 3 inches on the ground, and the local CBS affiliate had one of the reporters on the Long Island Expressway driving, and she's talking about, I'm starting to lose a little traction, and somebody just swerved up there, and and the guy back, the anchorman said, keep your eyes on the wheel, stay safe, and it just seems like it's so much overkill.
A lot of staging.
Some people, you know, and I think it all comes thanks to the internet, thanks to 24/7, you know, blogosphere, all that stuff. You know, I'm kind of part of it too, because you know, when it comes to big storms, I get excited like any other meteorologist. So, you know, Paul has seen it on Facebook where I'm posting like every 2 hours. I'm posting something new because this is big. Last week was a big deal. Now, there's a thin line between safety and just being informative. You know, and some people try to get as close to the line as possible. Some people do actually cross it, which I don't recommend. but you know, you want to inform the public as real, show them the real deal, what's going on.
Right. So you don't think that this clip we saw earlier, sort of Steve reference, you don't think that that's overkill?
Honestly, this is such a crazy moment. Let's talk back to the one when he said thunderstorm. When he said back to Chicago. When it was about a few years. I think it was it was like early 2000s. Chicago had a very crazy blizzard, and this only lasted maybe 10, 12 hours. But they were getting crazy thunderstorms. He saw 3 episodes of thunderstorms.
Right.
So this time he saw 6 incidents of thunderstorms, where here in the city, we rarely see thunderstorms.
Yeah.
We've seen once in the last 15 years. It's crazy.
Right.
So he saw 6. So imagine you striking the lotto at the same time, 6 different times.
That's how rare it is.
That's how rare it is.
Okay.
That's how rare it is.
Back to the accuracy thing really fast. How come this, I know you don't run the weather.com app, but when I go on the weather.com app and it's 7:59 p.m. and it says there's a 0% chance of rain at 8 p.m. and yet it's raining outside and it rains for an hour, and then I look at the radar and it says 0% chance, but the radar is all covered. How come they're not able to match up the people with the machines properly to be able to predict the weather when it seems so easy?
You know what it is? The Weather Channel and all the other big news outlets, they have automated weather monitoring equipment. Something called ICAST. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. ICAST populates temperature, forecast, humidity, what the sky conditions are for places all around the world. So, yes, sometimes you should be monitoring, but a lot of times you got thousands and thousands of locations around the country, just in this country. And sometimes you're gonna get 0%. The computer has 0% chance, and yet it's gonna be raining. I've seen that, and I'm like, whoa, it would be cool if somebody could monitor it, but you can't because there's so many different locations. And lately, these days, we're trying to automate things so much. I think this is when automating gets a little bit too crazy.
We have in New York with WCBS TV, a local meteorologist. His name's escaping, Lonnie Quinn. Who has become like the Justin Bieber, George Clooney of meteorology. There may be a storm forecast 48 hours away, but I purposely rolled up he rolls up his sleeves, he undoes his tie, you start to see beads of sweat coming up here, and he wants you to know how hard he's working, and you'll follow him around to some back room, and he's looking at this. I mean, isn't that overkill? Doesn't that whip up frenzy? And then to Joe's earlier question, there's often advice given to the viewer, the listener, whatever. You better get to the stores now and stock up before this major storm hits. And then the major storm doesn't hit, and people are just stuck with all of this food. And it strikes me is a real fine line with the acting and the hype, and I think Lonnie Quinn is the poster child, and Lonnie Quinn was actually a soap opera star in the 70s and 80s. I mean, this guy, do most meteorologists major in that subject and minor in acting?
No. I tell you, I myself, when I was getting my undergrad in meteorology, there was no hype. We had to do our own maps, verbatim, doing our own code forms. We learned how to take information from multiple different sources, and not to overhype stuff. Now, everybody has their own personality, on the air. So Lonnie Quinn has his personality. My supervisor, John Davin, he's probably the opposite. He's like, he tries to keep things calm. I don't know if you guys have seen him on the air. He comes on the New York one in the afternoons. But when we have a big storm, he keeps things even cute. During Sandy, everybody was praising because he kept everything calm. Gave everybody information. I was right next to him. Giving him the information. He was getting his information. So we were working in tandem. But we also try to keep things even keel. Some people have different personalities. Some people, they like to feel like, I'm running this. I'm Superman. This, that.
Well, what Steve's talking about, the Lonnie Quinn syndrome, just seems to be indicative of the rest of society. I want to be famous, and I'm going to use this storm to take advantage of it.
And also, I think as the public, they want The public wants it now. This now. I want to see stuff now. I want to,
Yeah.
I want to see. I want you to grab my attention.
Right. It's this digital age.
The digital age,
right.
yes.
Mhm.
24, like I said, 24/7 news, and I think it's indicative of the times we live in.
So now, do you feel that, for example, Jonas happened like last week, 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty much on point as far as accumulation predictions in New York City. When that happens, do you, as meteorologists, feel like vindicated? Like, all right, well, we finally got this one right, or people should trust us because we are getting these things right.
I tell you, I don't know if it's for most of the time the forecast. Everybody notices when you get it wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody notices that 95% of the time, 96, 97% of the time, pretty much everything's status quo.
Is it 96, 97% of the time? I mean,
It's give or
I say
take.
48.86734.
I think you're being a little generous there.
That's because I'm biased.
Fair enough.
That's my field.
Right.
But seriously, getting back to what you guys said, it's all about trying to keep things as balanced as possible.
Yeah.
Because with weather, we're predicting the future. I don't know if any when has that kind of job where you predict the future. We're talking about 2-3 days. I remember for like you said for Jonas, when we get the forecast right, it's cool. But we also know, at least I know, that there's days where I'm gonna be completely wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not my fault.
Well, there's days like that for Paul.
Oh, every day. Today's one of those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
But you guys are okay with that. You guys are okay knowing that you're going to be wrong.
We're dealing with Mother Nature. We're dealing with things that are way above our heads.
Yeah.
Does Mother Nature ever text you and be like, I got you again?
It'll be awesome.
What's her number? Too?
It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
You would want Mother Nature's number.
I would love it. I would love it. But like I said, it's cool when we get the forecast right. You feel like, okay, we did a good service.
We got it right.
We did a good service to the public. Or at least I feel that way.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure most
I'm sorry, I know you
We gotta wrap up.
We got to wrap up. So you talked about you're predicting the future. That's your job, right? So in terms of looking at the balance between fair and balanced reporting and education versus hype, what's your prediction in terms of where the media is headed in their coverage of weather moving forward?
Well, what I think is the media, everything's going to become a lot more. You see all the apps you have? You're going to see more apps. You're going to see more. You see, have you seen Periscope?
Yes.
It's going to be getting even more. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to. That's everybody wants.
Instantaneous.
What weather app do you use?
I like Weatherbug. I love Weatherbug.
Weatherbot?
Weatherbug.
Okay.
Because it gives me the radar right there, it gives me the temperature right there, and you wherever you go, you could if you're on the network, you connect to the closest school, the closest location, and it gives you wherever you are.
Right.
Wherever you are, gives you the accurate.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Global climate change, is it real or not?
It's real.
No.
It's real. I mean, there's too much evidence. Too much evidence. Yeah, it's not like these movies where we're gonna see stuff happening in 10 years, But slowly but surely, things. If we don't do what we need to do, then we're gonna see some consequences.
Yeah.
Consequences. We're already seeing little hints here and there, but we need to see more and more. Like I would need to see a few more years of these crazy type of events, 10, 15, 20 more years to say, okay, something's happening.
Right.
Because.
But for our viewers in Florida, it might be a wise move to start thinking about relocating.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida may be underwater in 20 years.
Right.
No, I would say more like in more like 50, 70 years.
Okay. Great grandchildren then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my final question for you, Edgar. Punxsutawney Phil and Staten Island Chuck was the guy.
Yeah.
Staten Island Chuck.
there is.
He's actually more accurate than Punxsutawney Phil.
He's
Forget that.
actually done a better job.
Right. I think all the groundhogs predicted that spring would come early, from my understanding. You're in the prediction business, pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are we going to get early spring?
It all depends on how the pattern shape up.
Okay.
Right now, the winter has not been too bad, with the exception of
Jonas,
this crazy
yeah.
blizzard. And Jonas, I know the Weather Channel likes to name these storms,
Now
but
they do
nobody
that.
else names the storms other than the Weather Channel.
Just the Weather Channel.
Just the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Because they do it basically for,
The show.
the show.
Yeah,
The show.
right,
One,
right.
and since the National Hurricane Center names hurricanes in the summertime, you know, they wanted to do the same. They wanted to start a trend.
Right.
I don't know if it's the trend's gonna move to other places, but when I was looking at the stuff last week, people were like, yeah, Jonas is Jonas. I'm like, oh wow, so people are kind of the general public is starting to get caught up on the naming.
Right.
So, you know.
So you're saying because we've had a mild winter so far, we'll probably get a spring earlier.
And the way to have things wrong, from my experience, when we've had a really so-so winter, spring tends to start a little bit earlier.
Okay.
You know?
Can we have you back on the vernal equinox
Sure.
to see what your prediction?
How it's shaped up to it.
Yeah, let's see, you know, but from and there's also, side note, there's also times where February becomes, you know, a mess of a month.
Of course.
No.
And March as well.
And in March,
From time to time.
I
They're all
remember,
messes of months.
Yeah.
right?
I remember we had a blizzard in March, you know,
Yeah.
when I was, you know, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So final question for me, how should I dress tomorrow?
How should you dress tomorrow? You know, regular winter jacket, you know, because it's not going to be as nice as today. And we're making some snow tonight, so
That's right. That's
so
right.
we're looking at maybe an inch or so, you know, so
Thank
especially
thank
as
you for the
as you
heads
get
up.
forth left. Hey, no
I
problem.
appreciate that, man.
All right, Edgar.
Next
Yes, sir.
Friday, Peppercom.
Hit us up.
Exactly.
Hit us up.
Pepper weather.
Edgar, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on Rep TV.
Yeah.